This is Transformers Generations, Fall of Cybertron, Decepticon, Bruticus, the build giant robot set. The figures, actually, the 5 figures that make the set, are part of the second wave of the 2012 Transformers Generation Fall of Cybertron series of deluxe class figures. Now, this figure just looks like a complete pile of mess. It's really it looks, if you don't play the game Fall of Cybertron, you'll probably be clueless about this one. I don't know, maybe not, but I don't play the game, and I've seen some video caps and some run throughs of the game. It looks pretty interesting. I just don't have the time to play it, so I that's why I don't. But I'm a big fan of what the designers have done since War for Cybertron, and it has been great. And the toys that Hasbro has been producing, it's just been phenomenal. Now, this set, if you haven't seen my other videos of the Combaticons, is made up of 5 deluxe class figures. As you can see, just like in the 1980s, if you grew up in the 80s, Bruticus was a combiner. They were the Combaticons. They were made up of their leader, Onslaught, the helicopter Vortex, the space shuttle Blast Off, the tank Brawl, and the it was like a jeep with a cannon Swindle. And back in G1, one of my favorite combiners after after Devastator. Devastator was my all-time favorite. Bruticus came a very close second for me, and I've absolutely been a fan of the Gestalt, the giant robot Bruticus. As for this version, I think it's one of the more legitimate combiner sets that we've had in years that Hasbro's been able to come up with. It has its flaws, but as a combiner, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a very good attempt, and I don't know, I need to see it first, but the Ruination set, the Wreckers combiner set, the repaint of this mold is looking to be good. Really, in terms of the colors and whatnot. So anyway, what do I think about this mold? If you like the game, it's gonna be amazing. What's interesting about this is Hasbro has made it so that you could interchange the limbs. The arms can become the legs can become the arms, or you can switch them vice versa and whatnot. It's a very versatile toy. However, despite being that, the toy still looks a little bit flimsy for me, because the main the central figure that forms the body and the torso is a deluxe class figure. It is quite understandable that the joints are they're gonna feel weak, because the hip joints are Onslaught's joints. They've sort of reinforced it so that he could hold the limbs better, but they just still feel a little bit weak for me. They feel a little bit flimsy to some regard. Let me just put him in his official transformation into his Gestalt mode, or giant robot mode. So this is the standard combination. You have Blast Off as the right arm. You have Vortex as the left arm. You got Swindle as the right leg, and Brawl as the left leg. That's traditional. That's classic. Excuse me. Let me just put the camera up so you guys can see it. That's classic Devastator. It's classic Bruticus for you. However, as I said, you can mix and match these guys. He's a great display piece. You can stand him up that way. It's fine. The colors, I'm not minding at all. These are very G1-ish colors. If you want a more accurate Bruticus to the game, get the San Diego Comic-Con version or the Takara Tomy version. But this is a very G1, very neon-y pastel colors. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Especially the Onslaught figure. He looks really great. As you can see, he's a little bit asymmetrical to a certain extent. If you're planning to give this to your kid, make sure you supervise him or her. If he's like under 5, if he's like 5 years old or 8 years, no, 8 years old is fine. Maybe 5, 6 years old. you might want to supervise your kid before, because there's a lot of pieces that could potentially break. There's some small tabs here and there that really uh, uh, that really are prone to break, I think. Now the weapons form this particular gun. Actually, Brawl's gun should fit into Swindle's gun this way, but it's just very loose. I don't know what Hasbro was thinking. The peg is just way too small, or the hole is just way too big. And let me just get that into focus. Yeah, so it's just not working for me that way. So I was thinking you either put it here or put it here, any which way, but not here. Definitely not here. It's just gonna fall. Also, traditionally, Bruticus has these two guns, the two-barrel guns on his back, which is really Onslaught's cannon in vehicle mode. And the instructions do give you. There is a part of the instructions that tell you for Onslaught that you can actually peg his guns at the back to make make the silhouette closer to how Bruticus would look like in G1. So let me just show you that. I think that's a lot better, giving his body a little bit more heft to it. Okay. As for the weapons, who's this guy? Swindle's gun can actually hold both Blast Off and Vortex's weapons like that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Or we can just, yeah, we can hold it like that, like a double bayonet gun. And this one would have been really cool if we could just plug it right there. So it's like a tri-gun, but it's just not gonna happen. So we're just gonna plug it here, or he can have it as a handgun, like a smaller handgun. Come on, okay, and then there. Okay. All right. So it looks pretty cool. The joints, when combined mode, he's got a swivel neck. Yeah. It's a good head sculpt. He's got a ball hinge shoulder, and incidentally, the joints are really here on this cut. That's where the joints should be when you rotate. Not where you attach the figure like this one. This has a tendency to just rotate this way. That way, and if you keep doing that, you're going to break off these tabs eventually. The joints are really here, and they're very tight. So just a word of caution for those who are giving this to younger kids. This thing just keeps popping off. I don't know why. Okay, come on, stay on. Okay, for the legs, the joints are really Onslaught's hips, which are ball joints. They're ratcheting joints. Do not bend it here. If you bend it here, you make sure you just untab it over there. There's a very small tab right there. Peg onto the peg hole. Sorry, not tab, a peg. Have him moving forward here for more dynamic poses, but make sure you untab it first, otherwise you're going to break it off. He's got a ball hinge knee, and again the joints are here and not where you attach them. And that's it. That's the oh, he has a waist joint, because Onslaught has a waist joint. So that's pretty cool too. If you want to articulate more of the legs, to get it in more dynamic poses, you can do what I do and just remove the crotch piece. Just move it up. It'll give you a lot more clearance to move the legs. So anyway, excuse me, moving the lamp. My bad. So overall, I mean, if you're a big fan of the game, I think this is a wonderful piece to get. If you've never cared for the game and you want to stick to your classics generations look, then this might not be the set for you. You might want to just wait till Hasbro can come up with a more G1 combiner that's fit for the generation line, or there are other third-party products out there in the market that are probably more expensive. But you know, if you have a limited budget, you've always liked Bruticus, like me. This is not a bad set to have, and it's a refreshing take on the '80s version of Bruticus, and this what Bruticus might have looked like if he was on, if he were alive back then in Cybertron. I don't have Starscream yet. If you recall, back in the '80s, Starscream was responsible for creating the Combaticons and Bruticus to fight off Megatron. I don't have the Generations Fall of Cybertron Starscream in hand yet because I haven't opened them up. Been a lazy bum this Christmas and New Year, 2012. But rest assured that review is going to be coming up. I hope everybody had a great holiday. And by the way, I am shooting this video in my new iPhone 5. I didn't buy it. My wife gave it to me. I don't have the money to buy it. She works for a telecommunications company, so it's, you know, it was easy for her to get one for me. And it's almost, anyway, whatever. Sorry, what was I thinking? Just let me know what you think of the new camera. So a lot of people are saying the camera for the iPhone 5 is not so much different from the 4S. I was using an iPhone 4, the non-Siri version, doing my previous videos, but this is the first time I'm using the iPhone 5's camera. So I'd like, yeah, I appreciate it if you let me know if it's any better or any good or worse than my previous videos. It's looking good on the screen, honestly, but. Oops, lighting. What the hell happened? What am I doing? There we go. So